Hey there, Xers. This is Function here. So I was going to say, last week when I was doing that article, I was planning on doing a follow-up video with another walkthrough, and I would, kind of do a live deck building walkthrough. And I had a couple ideas for decks, but there wasn't anything I was particularly excited about. And since I want it to be live, I didn't want to use one that I'd already written. That seemed like it would take away from it a little bit. But just last week, Cryptozoic did me a great favor and spoiled a couple more cards. And I was really excited about both of them actually. Demolition, I did a video yesterday about the denial and disruption, and then Claw the Mountain God kind of fit in the deck that I was probably gonna move towards with the walkthrough, and it kind of reinvigorated my interest and got me going. So before I go any further, this video, it's not going to be super edited, not that any of my other ones are, but there might be a little bit more uhs and ums or pauses and stuff. I kind of want to go for that live feel. If it really annoys you, let me know, but and I won't do it again. But yeah, for now, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the TCG browser. They already have the new cards uploaded on there. And what are we going to be calling it? It's Mono Blood. I made the deck public, so after the fact, if you want to go and look at it, it'll be up there somewhere. It's actually my first time using the deck builder here, so it might be a little clunky. Anyhow, I think they got their cost thing. We're going to sort that. We're going to have only PvP cards. What are we going to do for types? Well, we don't need to see mercenaries or resources or champions. And then for colors, well, I was saying I was going to build with Claw the Mountain God, and he was well, we'll go back here real quick and show you to him. He was a double blood threshold, 3-drop kind of aggro troop card, and since he's double blood threshold, I probably don't want to be playing a second color, and actually that's kind of the idea I was going for initially. So we're going to be trying to build a mono blood aggro deck. We'll show blood, and well, I don't really think there's any artifacts I'm going to want right off the bat, so I'll leave that empty, but we might look if we're still missing a card or two and feel like there's something we can add. I might go back and look at the artifacts. Alrighty, so we got it all sorted by cost and everything. What are we adding first? Well, we're going to be adding Fang of the Mountain God. He's a pretty strong include, and we're going to be putting 4 copies of him in there. So what he has going for him is, since he's a 2 toughness troop for 1, there's not all that many cards that can block him early on. There's Savage Raider that has 2 power, but that guy can't block, and I think that's really the only other 2 power troop for 1. So, there's going to be a couple 2 cost and 3 cost troops that can block him clearly, but early on, if you drop this guy on turn 1, your opponent's not going to have all that much they can do. If you're on the play, he's probably going to get in for 4 damage. Sure, he's going to hit you for a little bit, but we're not too worried about that. What else we got going here? What's Incantation of Fear? I didn't even see that one. Maybe that was one of the ones spoiled at the panel? Oh no, that's not something we want to play. Alright, so we got Fang of the Mountain God as our 1-drop that's going to be pretty strong for us. Blood Harbinger is probably the next one, and one of the cards I initially wanted to build with when I was thinking about this article last week. So it's when this troop dies, target opposing champion may pay 5 health. If they don't, search your deck for a Blood Harbinger and put it into your hand. So they're either going to take 5 damage when this guy dies, or you're going to get another one for free. It's definitely going to be a pretty big trade-off for them. I think most of the time they're going to just have to give you one for free because you're going to be bashing in really hard. Every once in a while they'll probably just take the 5 and hope that you don't have anything to follow it up with. But we're going to automatically include 4. You obviously want all 4 if you're going to be triggering that draw ability. Having only 1 in your deck pretty much does nothing. Although that might be a little head game for whatever reason that you're using on your opponent. So yeah, Blood Harbinger is going to be pretty good for us. Fits with the Mono Blood theme. And since I was excited about Claw the Mountain God, why don't we just add 4 of him in there? So we've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop. Let's keep moving up the curve and then filling out the rest after we go. Well, actually, the other card that I was pretty interested in is Throat Cutter. Being able to go turn 1 Fang, turn 2 Blood Harbinger into either Throat Cutter or Claw the Mountain God seems really good. Throat Cutter is going to give the other orcs rage. So far everything's an orc, so he seems really strong for us. There we go. And I think those are going to be our 3-drops. There are a couple other 3-drops, but I think it's going to be a somewhat cluttered spot for us. Warlock Inquisitor is really strong. Shame Gladiator seems decent. That minor socket, or the major socket on Warlock Inquisitor might we might end up bringing him in after the fact after playing with the deck a little bit. But yeah, this might be a fun deck to be using in alpha if you're looking for something to use. Just building a gauntlet of stuff and coming up with things. So the next guy we're going to be including here is Zarlox the Broodlord. I definitely like him. When this troop enters play, you may destroy target troop with cost 3 or less. I imagine they're going to add unique to him. They just hadn't done that yet. Oh, I thought last time I saw him he was a 3/4. Looks like he's just a 2/4 now though. But we're only going to include 3 copies because the removal's a little bit narrow, and like I was saying, I expect them to be unique, so if that happens, you're not going to want all that many of them. The next guy we're going to add is Vampire King. We could probably go up to 4 copies, but I'm only going to put 3 in actually. I don't want to clutter up my 4-drop slot too much. We're looking to just curve out at 3, and then, any 4-drop we have is icing on the cake. But Vampire King's going to be pretty good. The thing he has kind of going against him, though, is sure we have some removal, so we might get that vampire from him. But I kind of feel like, he's not going to help us bash any harder. Actually, Zarlox kind of feels better for our deck, because if you're playing a 3-drop in like Claw or something, and then you're just smashing him for 4 damage or 5 damage off him, yeah, what is it, 5? You're going to be a lot better off than if you got a free guy from Vampire King. Who really cares about that if you can just kill your opponent right then and there. Speaking of killing your opponent right then and there was another card I wanted to add in here. Yeah, Life Siphon. We're going to get at least 2 of these. We might bump that up to 3, but I'm not quite sure yet. Alright, so let's look at our curve. It actually has a nice little curve thing here. So it looks like we're very heavy on the 3 slot. No surprise there. I already knew that. And unfortunately, I think we got to add a little bit more onto it. We need some removal to make sure that our guys can actually connect. I don't know what better removal we're going to be playing with than Murder. Murder's pretty much the primo removal, so we're going to be including that. We have a couple other options. We could do Atrophy, which I'm not too excited about. We could do 1 or 2 other things, but yeah, we do Terrible Transfer, but that's a pretty high cost card. Speaking of high cost cards and wanting to play low cost stuff, I actually like playing Infernal Professor in this deck. Generally, you don't want to be playing cards like this in an aggro deck. It kind of slows you down and doesn't like actually push you forward. But card filtering is never a bad thing, and we are kind of light on cards, especially with so few cards in set 1. Well, not so few cards, but I mean having only access to 1 set does hinder us a little bit. And I'll read Infernal Professor real quick here. It's look at the top card of your deck. You draw that card or void it. If you void it, draw a card, and that card gets permanent cost -1, then lose health equal to its cost. So I think I'm probably almost always going to be voiding the first card so that I can get the next card at -1 cost. If it's something that I can use, yeah, I'll probably keep it, because then you don't want to land into a resource and then kind of blow your whole game. But Infernal Professor, if you're landing into a resource and you don't need it, you're always going to throw that resource away, so that's definitely nice. The -1 cost is definitely a nice effect if you're able to play this turn 1 and accidentally draw into Fang of the Mountain God. You'd be able to play it for free and salvage your turn 1 play. Oh, that's definitely pretty living the dream scenario, I would say. But another living the dream scenario would be turn 1 this and to turn 2 Claw the Mountain God. And then your opponent's really going to be in trouble, especially if you have like a Murder to follow it up on turn 3. Oh god, you're going to be in really good shape. So what do we got here? I think I'm at 32 cards. Alright, 32 cards. Let's look at the deck real fast. Oh, yeah, I got my 4 Infernal Professors. I probably want 4 more cards. What am I missing here? My 2-drop slot is kind of weak, and I don't want to just be stuck with a bunch of 3-drops in the deck. I think I probably need something to fill that in, which is unfortunate because there's not a whole lot of options. So let's look at what the 2-cost troops are. So we're already playing Blood Harbinger. I only want to show troops. I want to be able to get in for that frequent damage. So Bone Warrior is a little too weak and clunky. He's just a 1/2. He might be the one we end up playing. I'm kind of leaning towards Shinhair Eulogist, though. So the thing here is Shinhair Eulogist and Mangled Zombie are both the same cost for the same power, but the Eulogist has a small upside if you already have one in play and you have a second one and that one dies, the first one gets a little stronger, which, I mean, Mangle Zombie doesn't have that effect, so if you're choosing between the two of them, you're pretty much always going to want to use the Eulogist. He's not a card I'm excited about playing, but I do really feel like we need to have a 2-drop so that on turn 3, if we're murdering something, we can connect with 2 guys, or at least 1 guy if we didn't have a Fang. On turn 4, if we're playing a Zarlox, we have another guy to connect with, and I think that's pretty important for us. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm not too happy about playing this deck, is we don't have a lot of 1 and 2 drops that I'm really excited about, which might make us want to go play a second color. But, you know, you kind of get what you get. So let's go back, look at the deck. I think it's pretty much, that's what it's going to be. We're going to include 24 blood sources, and then for our champion, we're probably going to include Gozog, which is the 2 resources to do 1 damage and gain 1 health. It seems like with that, we're going to maybe be able to push the envelope and get those victories that we might not be able to otherwise. So what do we got? We got 2 Life Siphon. We might end up bumping that up to 3, which actually kind of seems better. Maybe bump that to 3 and drop 1 Shinhair Eulogist, because that Life Siphon is going to get in for more damage than the Eulogist is. Yeah, why don't we do that just right now? And then, you know, once Alpha comes out, we'll be able to play a little bit and tweak the deck. So we got 4 Infernal Professor, 4 Fang of the Mountain God, 4 Blood Harbinger, 3 Shinhair Eulogist, 4 Murder, 4 Claw of the Mountain God, 4 Throat Cutter, 3 Vampire King, and 3 Zarlox the Broodlord. That seems pretty decent. Well, I'm looking forward to playing Alpha, and this is definitely one of the decks I'll give a shot. I don't think it's going to be the strongest deck. I do have a whole bunch of lists that I'm pretty excited to be playing, but I'll at least be giving this one a shot, and we'll see how it does. Anyways, guys, that's about it for now. Let me know what you thought about the video. Sorry about the editing, or lack thereof, but yeah, until next time, less fail, more function. That's about it for now. Let me know what you guys thought. Sorry about the editing, or lack thereof. But like I was saying, I'm going to be trying to do 1 video or 1 article each day until I get my alpha key, because once I get my alpha key, I'm probably going to be playing like a madman and not going to have quite as much time to be making videos. So I'm going to be doing that, trying to really go nuclear and churning stuff out. So cheer me along in my quest, you know, give me some comments or subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, all that other good stuff. On the same note, if you don't see a video one day, it's probably because I posted an article, so check it out on Hexvault. Also, really check me out on Twitter. I think I'm FunktionFails on Twitter. Definitely do that, because every day I post a video, I link it on Twitter, so that's probably the easiest way to find out. So that'll wrap things up for today. Until next time, which with any luck will be tomorrow, less fail, more function.